Hi. So I was on a little bit of a mini shopping spree over at Walgreens, and I picked up a couple of different things that I thought maybe I would record because I want to kind of test them out. So the first thing that I got was this Australian licorice that is covered in chocolate, and I don't know how good Australian licorice is, but I usually like licorice, and I like chocolate. And when I was in Northern Europe for a little while in college, I had the chance to try their kind of licorice uh, in the form of Mentos, and that was really special because it was a little bit salty. So we'll see how the Walgreens Australian licorice with milk chocolate is right now. So the smell definitely hits you of licorice. And I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty well wrapped in chocolate. And this was on clearance, so obviously it wasn't too terribly popular. I mean, licorice wrapped in chocolate doesn't exactly sound that great. But it probably tested well, and they figured, what the heck, we'll do a run of it and see how it fares. So, they're opening up the market a little bit, and I figure I'll try it. When you're biting into it, it's nice and tender. The milk chocolate really doesn't take away anything from the licorice. Um, but the licorice does cover up the chocolate taste a bit more. Well, it has a slightly green color, um, and actually this is really good licorice. And I would honestly recommend this to people who like licorice. Um, it doesn't have all the thrills of a candy bar with like nougat and caramel and nuts or anything, but it's nice and simple, and it's pretty light, and it's pretty small. So, this is actually not a bad thing. So, I'm going to finish that up later. But I also bought two different brands of diet root beer that I thought I would test out. One is kind of the store brand, but slightly higher priced um, diet root beer. They honestly didn't have any of the Walgreens store brand root beer, regular or diet, to buy. But I was really in the mood for a cold root beer because I was watching American Beauty last night, and for some reason, whenever somebody mentions root beer, I really get a hankering for it. But I always liked it as a kid, so it makes sense. And I also got A&W. So I got the sugar-free because I don't really want to overdo it on sugar if I'm going to be drinking two bottles of pop or even just part of one. Um, Now I've tried this one before, and I've tried the Diet A&W, of course, but I want to kind of compare them. So I probably should have cleansed my palate with something after that licorice, because it's going to throw off my taste buds a little. So, just opening this up, and as you can see, it has a nice head, a good color. Mm. And you get a nice aftertaste of root beer, but the flavor of the root beer itself doesn't actually kind of hit your tongue. This again might have been because I had the licorice. Um, Now I will try the A&W. And of course, with the color of the bottle, you can't really see the color of it, but there is a nice head to it, about that high. So, uh, and I think you get the same amount. You get 16 ounces in the glass bottle from the store, and you get 20 ounces in the plastic. So actually, for what you pay, this is a little bit of a better deal. Um, and you can try out the store brand of Walgreens root beer for yourself. I personally think their cola is really good, but I'm gonna shut up and drink. Mm, yeah. See, right away, you get a flavor of root beer and uh, and it says made with aged vanilla. You actually get that vanilla flavor right there up front. Nice, smooth, sweet, and creamy. And it tastes a bit more like sarsaparilla, which is kind of a precursor to root beer, named because I think it either comes from or has a similar flavor to sassafras, which nobody probably knows what it is, but it's a root, and it has a particularly palatable and strong flavor. So I'm gonna try the gourmet soda from Deerfield Trading Company. I'm gonna try it one more time. Mm. See, now that my palate's been cleansed from the licorice a bit, which is a very strong flavor, um, I can taste a little bit more of the root beer, but it's still not quite as strong as the A&W, which has a lot more of that vanilla flavor hitting you when you take a sip. Yeah, I'm not normally one to go with corporate brands. Like I normally am um, the kind of person to say that a store brand or an off brand will be your better bet. But with the Deerfield gourmet soda, you get a little bit less. The one plus side, environmentally speaking, is that they use a glass bottle, which you can recycle a little bit easier than you can plastic without the release of toxins and things. And you can pretty much recycle glass over and over and over again, and it'll just eventually make a finer grade of glass the more you break it up. But uh, as it is, I would say that since you get less and you pay a little bit more uh, for per ounce for this, that it's not really worth it as much as the A&W, which is disappointing. I want the off-brand to be good because I always root for the underdog. But unfortunately, in this case, I gotta go with the larger brand. They have a good recipe. It tastes good. It's refreshing, and it's just the right amount of sweetness to really taste right to the palate. And you get that flavor from the moment you sip it, as opposed to more in the aftertaste with the other. So um, I don't know exactly what makes their brand gourmet in terms of the Deerfield, but that's really up to them and their marketing department if they want to market it as gourmet because it lets them get away with maybe charging a little more for a little less. Then that's fine. If it has finer ingredients, then that's good, but it should taste really good too to match. It should be competitive. So I don't know. Maybe they need to add a bit more vanilla to their recipe, or perhaps a bit more of whatever root they add, whatever root extracts. Perhaps they need to add a little bit more of that just to give it a bit more flavor. So that's all for now. Bye.